So, you're getting ready for the IELTS Reading Test in 2025. You know it's going to be tough, and the pressure is definitely on. Well, in this explainer, we are going to cut right through all of that noise and give you a super clear strategic roadmap to absolutely crush it. Let's dive in.
Okay, the very first thing you have got to wrap your head around is the clock. The entire test, all the pressure, it really all boils down to just one number, 60. That's right, 60 minutes, not a second more. You get one single hour to deal with, well, this.
A whopping 40.
Yep, 40 questions. And you know, the math here is pretty simple and honestly, pretty brutal. That works out to just a minute and a half per question. And remember, that includes finding the answer and reading the text.
It really does feel like a race against time, because it is.
So the real question isn't just about finishing, it's about finishing well. So how in the world do you beat that clock? Let's break down the strategy.
First up, let's talk about your game plan from the moment you're actually sitting in that exam room. These are your essential on-the-day test tactics. Your number one weapon against the clock is this two-part technique, skim and scan. Think of it this way. Skimming is like looking at a map of a city just to get the general layout. You see the main areas, right? Then, scanning is using that map to find one specific street. You are not reading every single word. No way. You are on a mission to find specific information. And this is exactly how you avoid the trap of getting bogged down in the details.
All right, now here's where things get a little more interesting. The IELTS reading test isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. You can't just use one strategy and hope for the best. You've got to become a master of the different question types.
Let's see how this plays out. For true, false, not given, you need to put on your detective hat. Every tiny detail matters. For matching headings, here's a shortcut. The main idea is almost always hiding out in the first or last sentence of a paragraph. Go there first. And for multiple choice, here's a pro tip. Don't just search for the right answer. Instead, actively eliminate the answers you know are wrong. This forces you to really think about why each option doesn't work, which makes it way less likely you'll fall for one of those tricky distractors. So those are your tactics for inside the exam room. But you know what? The real magic, the work that's going to make all the difference, it happens way before test day. And that brings us to the preparation playbook.
And here's a really critical piece of intel for the 2025 test. You should absolutely expect more paraphrasing. The people who write these tests are getting cleverer. They want to know that you truly understand the meaning of the text, not just that you can match a few keywords. And that means they're going to use synonyms and rephrased ideas all over the place.
It seems like a small thing, but it's a huge shift. The text might talk about a global problem, but the question will ask about a worldwide issue. So instead of just hunting for the exact same word, you have to train your brain to spot similar ideas. Building your vocabulary is everything here.
So, knowing all that, what is the single most powerful thing you can do to get ready? It's actually pretty simple. You have to practice under real exam conditions. It's not enough to just casually do a few practice questions. You have to actually simulate the pressure to build up an immunity to it. And here is a dead simple 3-step routine to make that happen. First, set a timer for 60 minutes. Be strict about it. When that timer goes off, pens down. Second, always, and I mean always, use official practice tests. That way you get a real feel for the difficulty. And third, remember the goal here has two parts. You're building speed, but you're also building accuracy. One is totally useless without the other.
Okay, so we've covered tactics for test day and a playbook for your prep. That brings us to our final and maybe most important section. This is where we connect all that strategy to your mindset. This is your path to confidence. Because here is the absolute truth. You can know every single technique in the book, but if you panic on test day,
none of it is going to matter. Seriously. All of this prep, all of these strategies, they're all designed to build one final crucial skill, the ability to stay calm when that clock is ticking.
So where does that calm come from? It's not magic. It comes from this simple idea right here. Confidence comes from consistent practice. Think about it. Confidence isn't just some feeling you hope to wake up with on test day. It's something you earn. It's a result that comes from focused, consistent effort.
So, there you have it. The roadmap is laid out, the strategies are crystal clear. The only thing left in this equation is you. So let me just leave you with this one question. Are you ready to put in the work, build that confidence, and not just pass this test, but absolutely ace it?